Hello and welcome back to my channel, Read with Ruchi. How are you guys? Summer's approaching and I am extremely happy. I hope wherever you guys are, you're happy as well. So today's video, before I start this, I just want to again start my video by thanking each one of you, my amazing subscribers, people who have been loving and supporting my channel all the way. So thank you so much. Now today's video is all about our April TBR. Yes, so I am going to talk about the books that I'm going to read in this month. Now this month is very interesting because it's almost a couple of days into the month and I've not picked up a single book so far. So I don't know. I think I am putting myself into a challenge where I think I'm planning to read a little more than what I read last month, but let's see how it is going to go because as I said, I've not picked up a single book as of now and I don't know if I would be able to complete this, but let's go into this challenge with all the spirit that it needs. So yes, let's get started with our April TBR. All right, so my first pick for this month is going to be Verity. I don't know if you remember this, but in the video prior to the last one, I had mentioned where, I had shared about my husband got me some books, Unholy. So I had presented this book in that video and I'm really looking forward to read this book because this is all over my social media. I am watching, hearing about this book so much everywhere on YouTube, on my Instagram, and in the entire book community, it's just people are just talking and talking great things about this book. So I'm very interested, looking forward to kind of reading this. And again, I've mentioned what this book is all about in the video that I just referred it to. So it is going to be an interesting pick. Again, just for some of you who don't know what this book entails, I am as good as much as you know, but this book is basically about an author named Verity. And when Verity kind of gets bedridden, her husband calls another author to co-write this book that Verity is working on. But as this co-author, Lowen, kind of starts to, understand Verity's work and gets the manuscript and starts to read those, she finds some strange things and things that probably are going to cause the suspense and thrill in the story. So I don't know what it is, but I have to read this to kind of find out what it actually is. But what I'm hearing and learning from other booktubers and bookstagrammers is that this is a fast-paced read. It's mystery, thriller, suspense, and it hooks you from the very start. So I'm very excited to read Verity. My next pick is going to be The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. Now I am extremely looking forward. I read Lucy Foley's guest list in March and I really loved it. I think I gave it a 4-star out of 5 and I really loved the plot twist and just the story build up for guest list, and I'm extremely excited to read The Paris Apartment too. I have not heard too much praise and hype and whatever about this book, but I'm still very excited to read. Let's just quickly read the summary here. Meet the residents of number 12 Rue des Amants, a beautiful old apartment building in the city of light. The socialite, the nice guy, the alcoholic, the girl on the verge, the concierge. Everyone's a neighbor. Everyone's a suspect, and everyone knows something they're not telling. See you in Paris. So this is also a synopsis of Lucy Foley's guest list. Remember, it kind of that synopsis was also like, you know, one bride, one groom, one bridesmaid, one something, and you know, everyone is a suspect, but who's the murderer? Something like that, you know. And this is exactly like that. So very Lucy Foley-ish, but I'm really looking forward to read this book because I really enjoyed reading The Guest List by Lucy Foley. So I'm hoping that I will enjoy this one as much as I did that. In fact, probably more than that. So that's book number 2. My third book in the month of April that I'm going to be reading is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. Again, I have not read Simone St. James' other works as yet. I know I have to read. I have picked up last month, I think I picked up the Book of Cold Cases from my Book of the Month subscription. But again, I wanted to read this one first, you know, before I read her other works. So I am going to, this is the first book that I will pick up to, I'll start reading this month, before Verity or other books. But I'm again, really looking forward to reading this book because I think it is going to be an interesting book. And this is also the book that my husband got for me in the surprise. I have mentioned it in the surprise video that he gifted me this book as well. So I think the story is great, but let me just quickly read it one more time. So something hasn't been right at the roadside Sundown Motel for a very long time. And Carly Kirk is to find out why in this chilling new novel from the USA Today bestselling and award-winning author of The Broken Girls. Anyway, okay. Upstate New York, 1982. Viv Delaney wants to move to New York City, and to help pay for it, she takes a job as a night clerk at the Sundown Motel in Fell, New York. But something isn't right at the motel. Something haunting and scary. Upstate New York, 2017. Carly Kirk has never been able to let go of the story of her aunt, Viv, who mysteriously disappeared from the Sundown before she was born. Carly decides to move to Fell and visit the motel, where she quickly learns that nothing has changed since 1982, and she soon finds herself ensnared in the same mysteries that claimed her aunt. Oh my God. Well, I remember this is not the book from my husband's surprise video. This is from where I read a chapter from 6 thrillers. And I'd read the first chapter and I had probably like totally misunderstood the chapter because I reread it after the video, and it was a little different. But I'm really excited to read this because the story is so good. Apparently, like Viv Delaney, who's Carly Kirk's aunt, used to work at Sundown Motel, and like one night she just suddenly disappeared, and now this girl, Carly, is coming to New York to find what happened with her aunt. So I am like, I love it. I love the plot. Let's see how this book is, but I'm excited to read this one. My fourth pick is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. Now, I have not heard amazing things about this book, but I still want to read this because I love Riley Sager's writing. I mean, I just love it so much, whatever he's written so far and whatever I have read so far. I've read Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I have read Lock Every Door by him. And honestly, I really loved both those books. And so I want to read this before his 5th novel is coming out, Across the Lake. I think it is coming in July. So I'm very excited to read that. But before I read that, I wanted to like kind of finish all his written works. And this is one of them. So I want to finish this before that one comes in July. Let's see, what is this all about? In November 1991, Nirvana's In the Tape Deck. George H.W. Bush is in the White House, and movie-obsessed college student Charlie Jordan is in a car with a man who might be a serial killer. Okay. Josh Baxter, the man behind the wheel, is a virtual stranger to Charlie. They met at a campus ride board, each looking to share the long drive home to Ohio. Both have good reasons for wanting to get away. For Charlie, it's guilt and grief over the shocking murder of her best friend, who became the third victim of the man known as the campus killer. For Josh, it's to help care for his sick father, or so he says. The longer she sits in the passenger seat, the more Charlie notices there's something suspicious about Josh. From the holes in his story about his father to how he doesn't want her to see inside the trunk. As they travel an empty, twisty highway in the dead of night, an increasingly anxious Charlie begins to think she's sharing a car with the campus killer. Is Josh truly dangerous? Or is Charlie's jittery mistrust merely a figment of her movie-fueled imagination? One thing is certain, Charlie has nowhere to run and no way to call for help. Trapped in a terrifying game of cat and mouse, played out in pitch black roads and in neon lit parking lots, Charlie knows the only way to win is to survive the night. Wow. Okay. So now, what I'm thinking is there are two things that could happen. Either Josh is the serial killer, but if he is the serial killer, they wouldn't call it out right in the synopsis of the book, right? So I'm thinking Josh is not the serial killer. There's somebody else. Maybe somebody Josh and Charlie know, somebody common to them. But it also could be Josh, So let's see what this book holds for us. But I love the cover, and I love the cover because it's really dark, and they're, how they're talking about the neon lights and stuff. It gives, the title is written in that way, and then there's a car coming in the pitch darkness. So yes, excited to read this one. The fifth book that I'm planning to read this month is The Last Time I Lied, also by Riley Sager. Same reason, I want to finish all his books before his fifth one comes out. It's the fifth one or the sixth one, because I remember I just recently read one more of his book, which I didn't quite enjoy. Final Girls. Yes, Final Girls. Yeah, I didn't enjoy the Final Girls as much as I enjoyed Home Before Dark and Lock Every Door. But yeah, but I still want to read these two before his sixth book comes out, not the fifth, the sixth book comes out. So The Last Time I Lied, again, I have not heard too many things about this book, so I'm not very sure what it is all about, but let's read it. Okay, Two Truths and a Lie. The girls played it all the time in their cabin at Camp Nightingale. Vivian, Natalie, Allison, and first-time camper Emma Davis, the youngest of the group. But the games ended the night Emma sleepily watched the others sneak out of the cabin into the darkness. The last she or anyone saw of them was Vivian closing the cabin door behind her, hushing Emma with a finger pressed to her lips. Now a rising star in the New York art scene, Emma turns her past into paintings, massive canvases filled with dark leaves and gnarled branches that cover ghostly shapes in white dresses. When the paintings catch the attention of Francesca Harris White, the wealthy owner of Camp Nightingale, she implores Emma to return to the newly reopened camp as a painting instructor. Seeing an opportunity to find out what really happened to her friends all those years ago, Emma agrees. Familiar faces, unchanged cabins, and all same dark lake haunt Nightingale, even though the camp is opening its door for the first time since the disappearances. Emma is even assigned to the same cabin she slept in as a teenager, but soon discovers a security camera, the only one on the property, pointed directly at its door. Then cryptic clues that Vivian left behind about the camp's twisted origins begin surfacing. As she digs deeper, Emma finds herself sorting through lies from the past while facing mysterious threats in the present. And the closer she gets to the truth about Camp Nightingale and what really happened to her friends, the more she realizes that closure could come at a deadly price. Oh my gosh, I am excited. I am so thrilled to read this one. Honestly, I'm just loving the storyline. It's awesome. There was this girl who went on camping with her friends many years ago as a teenager, now is a famous painter, and she will go to this place again as an instructor. only to see like what it was all those years ago, right? So I'm excited. It's what? It's about 370, so about 400 pages. Oh my gosh, I don't even know which one to pick up first. I'm planning to pick up the Sundown Motel first just because I've read the first chapter of the book. So I'm like, let's just quickly do this, you know? But not that I'm not excited to read that. Of course I am. I love the storyline. But I'm also excited to read the other books. And now I'm very excited to read this one. So yes. So The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager is my 5th pick. So these are the 5 books that I'm going to be reading this month. So these are the 5 books that I'm going to be reading in the month of April. But I also have some other plans. So I'm thinking if I finish these 5 books in time, I'm also planning to read The Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. Remember, I had read the first chapter for this one too in like 1 chapter each from 6 thrillers that I read. And I think I enjoyed the first, like the prologue. And I think I'm interested to read this one too. So if I finish all these books in time and I still have like some time before we enter the new month, I probably would pick up this one. I'm also planning to pick up the Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James because I have heard great things about it. Yes, I have heard great things about it and I'm extremely hyped up to read this one. So yes. And if you see the synopsis of it, it is written in a very similar way as it is written for the Sundown Motel. I think it's like past and present story. So like it's a back and forth, but I'm excited. I'm excited to read this. So if I finish this, I might pick up either Local Woman Missing or the Book of Cold Cases. Let's see what happens. I might probably be able to read both of these. So let's see. But so far, I think that's all for my video today. I am really looking forward to having some great time this month as well. Again, I don't know how much I would be able to accomplish as far as my reading TBR is concerned, because it is already a couple of days in the month and I've not picked up any book, but I want to very soon, maybe just right after shooting this video. But yes, that's all for my video today. And until we meet again next weekend, please take utmost care of yourself. Enjoy the sun a little bit as much as it shines every day before it gets gloomy and starts to pour. But again, thank you so much everyone for supporting and loving my videos and my content and supporting in the way like liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. I really appreciate each one of you. So we will meet next weekend. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye.